Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Boerne Brew. I'm the host of today's show. My name's Kerry Barboza, and I'm the sports editor of the Boerne Star. And I guess my question for the Boerne community is, are you ready for some football? Ready or not, arena football is coming to the area because the Texas Wild Hogs will play at the San Antonio Rose Palace just down the road. And joining us from the Wild Hogs is John Tipton. John, thank you for coming out on the show.
Absolutely. Super happy to be here.
And you go by JT.
Yes,
you are listed on the Wild Hogs website as Director of Partnerships for the Wild Hogs. What exactly does that mean?
Man, that's where I get to have an opportunity to go out into the community and help build the businesses, these small business owners, and help them build their viewership and get their reach out there. So I'm excited. I'm really not working for the Texas Wild Hogs. I'm actually working for all of our partners.
Okay, I see. So as far as a day-to-day role, there's the coach and the general manager. Would you have much to do on a daily basis with those guys, or will you kind of have your own role in all this?
So, yeah, my role is definitely business development and director of partnerships, but it goes beyond that because as a team, you'll find that we'll need a group of people working together on one certain project, and so we all focus on that. So it's not just the business development and director of partnerships, it's actually being a part of the operations of the organization as well.
And also joining us in the studio is Esteban Serrano from Boerne Radio. He's a sports director here. And Esteban, you and I were at the press conference, and they were talking about how they're going to get everything going. It's really just kind of in its infancy is what we kind of noticed. So you guys just really starting from ground zero right now.
It's an expansion team, and absolutely. But it's not that that the owners just decided we're going to do it. You heard during the press conference, it's taken almost a year to get to this point. Yeah. To be accepted into the league, there's a lot of hoops and backgrounds that they've got to go through to make sure that, you're representing the league with a wholesome family environment. So, there's a little bit that goes into it more than just a paper application and sending them a check.
And Esteban, what were your impressions of the press conference?
We were talking about this, very foundational. It looks great, the product on the outside. Now, for people who weren't at the press conference or didn't have a chance to see it, where did the name Wild Hogs come from?
That's an interesting question. I asked about that when I first came on board, and then Quentin and Crystal told me, said, look, we were somewhere where they had a Ring camera, and they saw this wild hog come up to the door, and Crystal started to open the door, and they thought the hog was going to attack her, but he turned around and ran the other way. So they started looking into what does the Texas Wild Hog represent. Well, they're tough. They're extremely resilient. You back them into a corner and they will fight. And I'm very, very familiar with that, living out on some property out here in Kendall County. We have a hog problem. But this hog is not going to be a challenge or a problem because these are the hogs that we're going to stand behind and support as we move forward with this new venture.
You all have a website, and I think it's Wild Hogs.
It's txwildhogsplural.com, so Texas Wild Hogs.
Yeah, and y'all have merchandise, don't you? Some available right now?
Right now we do have some limited merch available. We're still working, I think, on the back end to get the store set up. We're really at the base foundation of what we're doing, and what really makes that exciting is that this is a space that nobody's been in before.
Right.
This is an opportunity for the small business owners here in Kendall County and the surrounding hill country to get 4,000 people in this arena for 2.5 hours and have their undivided attention.
Right.
And they're going to get entertained for that too, for 2.5 hours. And you can't find inexpensive fun like that anywhere north of 1604 right now.
Well, one thing I noticed at the press conference, they talked about the dance team. They mentioned it a couple of times, and they're going to have like a 10 to 15 member dance team. So that's going to be a big part of the entertainment side of it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And to add to that, if you've never been or ever watched an arena football league game before, it really is in your face. When Quentin was talking earlier at the press conference about saying, hey, if you're sitting down on the floor, you're going to get involved in something, right? And if the player goes out of bounds up against the boards and you end up getting the football, you can keep the football, but you got to give the player back.
Yeah, that was the funny part. Yeah, and Esteban, I know Roland J. Ruiz, who's our producer, have worked with some arena teams, and they know what the action's like. Esteban, kind of explain what arena football is like, because it's a lot different than 11-man. I mean, it's a similar game, but it's like a pinball machine, basically.
It's like hockey and football combined.
Yeah.
I've heard it combined, like hockey, NASCAR, NBA, everything in one.
Never thought about the NASCAR portion, but yeah, I can see that.
It's because of the fast pace.
Yeah, right.
The way
right.
it is.
Or high-scoring games. I mean, you're going to get 50 to 60 points. Every possession usually ends up in some sort of a conversion.
Yeah, because the field, what is the dimensions of the field? They're a little different. I think Roland would probably know, but they're a lot shorter.
They're a lot shorter.
Interesting you should ask, and Esteban's going to get my back on this. They're saying it's 85 feet wide and 50 yards long. Now, it's 50 yards long from end zone to end zone. That doesn't include the
10
area.
yards.
Yeah.
Right. The midfield marker's 25.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's 50 yards from end zone line to end zone line, but you got a little bit of end zone space there as well.
That is John Tipton with the Texas Wild Hogs and their startup arena football team, and they're going to play their games at the San Antonio Rose Palace. So, do y'all consider yourself a Boerne team, a Leon Springs team, a San Antonio team? How do you refer yourself?
All of the above. Boerne has become the focal point in the center of what we're calling the Texas Hill Country. So we're going to encompass and serve all the communities out, again, in the outlying community. So you got Bandera, Kerrville, maybe even Spring Branch, Bulverde, obviously Bergheim. It's just a short hop, skip, and jump right down the road. And again, when folks are thinking about what they're going to do on a Friday or Saturday night, they maybe have, when the season is from the March, they'll have evenings that they can come down and still, watch some good football.
and coaches are even allowed on the field too, is my understanding.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Wow. Yeah, you're going to have some interesting conversations out there with the officials, maybe.
Yeah, and the press conference, you mentioned you guys are part of the American Arena League. I believe it's 4 teams right now, but that may change, right?
No, we've actually got 6 teams.
6, okay.
Yes, sir. So that means our first inaugural schedule, there'll be 5 home games and 5 away games.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything mentioned yet about any type of a championship or playoff bid. I think that's coming in the very near future once we get a few more teams on board. But this is exciting to have a really, truly professional Arena League football team. This isn't semi-pro. This is actually professional.
Right, and let's talk about the coaching staff and your administrative staff, because they all spoke today at the press conference, and the general manager was the head coach of the Gunslingers for a little bit.
Yes, he was. So a lot of his experiences are going to come from that as well. So that's going to be all the good things, and then you can toss out the other stuff and move forward with what he's doing right here in Boerne, right here in the Texas Hill Country. And
you got a staff listing? Because I know they mentioned the head coach, they introduced him, and Roland kind of knew who he was already.
It's Brent Holmes, who's going to be the head coach of the Texas Wild Hogs.
Yeah, and he played at East Central, didn't he?
He went to East Central. He played wide receiver for the San Antonio Talons of the Arena Football League.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, just a hot minute ago, but yeah. Very, very talented athlete, and I mean, he's got the background to bring to this game. Great choice for head coach.
And the general manager is
Quentin.
Yeah, Quentin.
Yeah, Quentin. They wear several hats. You know, you've got CEO, you've got president, and then
he's kind of wearing. He's doing a lot of things.
He is doing a lot of things, and that's where I think I've been able to come in and I take some of that off his shoulders and help him a little bit with that, and just small things that you wouldn't normally think about. Like today, we had the press conference and make sure that we've got enough food there for everybody, and just kind of handle the business side of that to make sure everybody's happy and comfortable and get a taste of what it's going to be like when they come to experience this white glove level of entertainment we call the Texas Wild Hogs.
Well, and I know it's an inaugural season, but I'm sure it's looking to expand. But right now, you guys are the only team from Texas, isn't that correct?
That is correct, and the league will be looking for more expansion teams as we go through this first inaugural season.
You mentioned at press conference, like I said, really initial stages, but you hope to have tryouts, I think, in the spring, or some in the fall and then some more in the spring, that type of thing?
Yes, sir. So the plan is right now we're going to have some tryouts in October, and then we'll have some tryouts in November for the Sounders, for the dance team. So we should have everybody solidified and in their spots, most likely the beginning of February, in preparation for the March season.
Yeah, and it looked like 3 different tryout dates, but for anyone interested, what kind of athlete are you looking for?
We're looking for anybody that wants to play football. Okay. Right? We're looking for anybody that believes in providing wholesome entertainment and family values. We're looking for our quarterbacks and our cornerbacks from Boerne High School, from Champion High School, from Bandera High School. Maybe we had some of those guys go off to college and realize that they needed a little more experience, and so they come back from a college program and they want to learn how to operate at the pro level, because there is a distinct difference between college, semi-pro, and pro. Because one of the main goals of the team is not just to provide that entertainment. We're providing a way for these athletes that may have been overlooked in the past or are ready now, they're more mature and ready to make that commitment to the sport. We're giving those folks a second opportunity at becoming something great again. So we're looking really, really hard, and I believe Quentin said it was something like 60% of our team is going to be local.
Yeah.
And that means coming from San Antonio, it could be New Braunfels, Spring Branch, anybody here in the local community, even somewhere as far away as Waco or Amarillo, but they're going to be local folks that we try to bring in.
Yeah, and trying to get some Boerne folks, Boerne former players, like you said, and that will help draw, I think, a crowd.
Oh, how exciting is this going to be when, maybe we had a high school quarterback, 3 or 4 years ago has come back and maybe he's doing something different with his life and he wants to play ball again. He's just in his 20s and now he can go out and try out for a pro team. I mean, how great is that?
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know. Esteban looks like he's in pretty good shape. I think he might be able to try out. Are you interested in trying out?
I might have to consider it, Kerry. I did want to ask a question. Yeah, I heard during the press conference, too, Quentin kind of mentioned, this is a developmental thing, obviously, and for the players, you want local talent, but at the same time, if someone's interested in like a business role or something, y'all are able to provide them with that experience, like using of social media and all that stuff as well. That did get brought up in the press conference.
It did. And what Quentin and Crystal are trying to do, we recognize that this is an opportunity, right? For either second chances, third chances. This is an opportunity for those folks that actually truly want to learn the professional side of arena football. They're also going to get the coaching experience or the opportunity to see that in practice. Are going to get to understand the business practices that we utilize. So yeah, it's a kind of a all-encompassing opportunity. So you're learning the business side and you're learning the game side. So that way, if you want to move forward into a pro role in the NFL, you're already trained for it. If you want to go into a coaching role in one of the other professional leagues, you're going to be prepared for that.
That is John Tipton of the Texas Wild Hogs joining us here in the Boerne Radio Studios in the Richter Building. Esteban Serrano and Roland J. Ruiz from Boerne Radio are also with us. I'm the host of today's show. My name's Kerry Barboza, and I'm the sports editor of the Boerne Star. And the Texas Wild Hogs are the arena football team that's coming to Boerne area. They're going to play their games at the San Antonio Rose Palace, so just right down the road. And, one thing I noticed today at the press conference is how much they talked about this being faith-based. That was mentioned several times.
Yes, and in all transparency, that is probably the number one reason that I was attracted to this opportunity. God is first, and when we had our initial interviews and discussion, that was very evident that that's how the ownership, that's what they hang their hat on, and it was just coincidental. Actually, I don't believe in coincidence. It's a God thing, because I was looking for an opportunity as well, and it just kind of happened, and it's so exciting that it's something new. It's another opportunity of outreach. Again, like you were saying earlier, it's not necessarily just the players learning the business side. They're going to get some faith-based type, I don't want to say training, but experience as well.
And looking at a start date of late March, maybe early April, some of the first games?
So the teams are having their owners meeting coming up in July. That's where they're going to deconflict the calendar, and everybody's going to put dates on there for home games and away games. So as soon as that happens, y'all are going to be the first ones to know. We'll put out there, and we are looking at the beginning of March, maybe April. It just depends on the logistics and what the team owners can come up with while they're at their deconfliction meeting.
You guys are the only team in Texas, from Texas, but where are the other teams going to be based?
Right now we have a team from West Virginia called the Wheeling Miners, then Columbus Lions, the New Jersey Bearcats, and the Mississippi Wolfpack. So, yeah, we got a total of 6 teams. We got one still waiting to fill that slot, which should happen here very shortly. So that'll mean we have 5 home games and 5 away games.
That's a lot of traveling, though. I mean, you're going to go to Mississippi. I mean, it's not going to be right down the road type of thing.
No, it's not. And again, if you're at the professional level, I mean, you want to play the best from all over the country. And then that also plays into, that's part of our operating budget is to travel, because we have to travel there. And then we get to put up the visiting team here in Boerne. So they'll be coming here and staying at one of our local establishments. So we're trying to spread that love all the way around in the Boerne and greater Kendall County community.
So why the Rose Palace? Was that just the perfect venue for it?
Well, it's been utilized as a field in the past, so we knew going in that it could be done. We didn't have to do any type of testing and get out there, make sure that it was going to accommodate what we need for the game. If you haven't ever been out to the Rose Palace, when they get this set up, you're going to have 4 seats, and then you'll have the bleacher seats, but it's going to seat up to 4,000 fans. That's a lot of people coming in to watch some football, and what a great opportunity it is to influence positively the community with that.
And how do you all plan to outreach to get people to go to those games?
So right now, when we decide on who our dancers are going to be, we're obviously using social media. I'm having face-to-face meetings with community leaders and business leaders to get the sponsorship and the partnership stuff all in line. In addition to that, it's a lot of social media. We'll be doing some emailing campaigns, and then it's just being out in public. When we start getting some of our folks to the team, more coaches, we'll start doing some public appearances with the coaches, kind of like we did with the press release today.
And if people want to contact you just with questions, they do have the website, which you mentioned, txwildhogs.com.
txwildhogs.com, correct. And, I have no problem. If people have questions, they can contact me directly at 210-900-2470. That's 210-900-2470. And my email is jtipton, Tipton, at texastxwildhogs.com.
What's going to be the main focus between now and then, or is there just a whole lot to do between now and then?
So we're very fortunate that Quentin and Crystal brought on some great team members, so everybody knows their lane and what needs to happen. And so it's kind of like a military operation in my mind. I know that if A is being taken care of, that means B can do their job, C can do their job because B and A did their job, and everybody knows what each other is doing. So if something happens and we have to shift our focus, we're able to do that. So to answer your question, it's because we have that relationship that we're able to tackle all those things at the exact same time. Because let's be honest, if my wife were in here right now, she'd tell you that I can only do one thing at a time. And I'm pretty much to the point where I believe her now. So we do one thing well at a time, and then we move on to the next one.
And did you reach out to them, or did they reach out to you to get involved?
After running for public office, which was a great experience, so happy that I got to experience that. I may not have won, only lost by 69 votes, but the experience and learning process is invaluable to me, especially now in this position that I hold as the director of partnerships. It's the ability to go out and not be afraid to look somebody in the eye, shake their hand, and tell them that I'm going to provide you this service and I work for you, and I'm going to make sure you get exactly what you need out of this relationship.
And then they said, okay, we're in.
Yes, essentially it is. It's probably the easiest sell that I've ever done before in my life, because all you do, this is Texas, right? We talk about God, guns, football, and fishing and hunting. That's pretty much what it is, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Football, yeah. Gods and guns, yeah.
So we have that community right here in the Texas Hill Country. So we are definitely excited about reaching out and forming partnerships with everybody in the area.
Well, you mentioned hoping to get 4,000. Would that be a sellout, basically? And is that the goal every night?
I'd love to have 6,000 people show up. Well, we'd figure out how to fit them in there. But no, 4,000 is the capacity that we're going to be able to put in there at one time. And if we have 4,000 people coming, that is a huge success.
So what are ticket prices? Have y'all talked about ticket prices, what they would be, and are people going to be able to buy season tickets if they want?
Absolutely. We're going to have season ticket packages. There's a variety of those. But here's the wonderful thing. Remember I was telling you guys earlier that this is going to be the least expensive, most family fun you can have north of 1604.
Right.
Take a guess at how much our general admission tickets are going to be.
I'd say $10. What do you say, Esteban?
You nailed it. $10.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
But 10, I think that's a good fair number. You can take a family of 4 out, mom, dad, 2 kids for $40. You
can't beat it.
2.5 hours of entertainment.
That's cheaper than a movie.
It is.
Yeah.
And, they could go right next door, right down the road to the multi-movie multiplex and spend $100 on the night.
And buy popcorn and all that.
Yep.
And so, Roland, I know you've covered arena football. You were with Gunslingers, and I think they played their inaugural season. Didn't they play at the Rose Palace?
They did play at the Rose Palace. As a matter of fact, I was going to mention, I remember being down there near Fieldside and right next to Quentin as he was coaching. So
really?
I certainly remember that. He was a great coach. I'd love to see what he's going to do in his new role, though, but he was a great coach.
So basically, the Rose Palace is a rodeo type arena. It's the majority of what it's used for. But how hard is it going to be for them to get the Rose Palace ready?
It was, it seemed like it wasn't that difficult to set up, at the time. So it's.
Would they just put turf? They just lay turf down?
Put turf down on the dirt and went forward.
And then
that
the
was
wall.
my first question too, was how does this happen? And then he showed me some pictures, and then when you actually get there, and if anybody's interested, we'll take anybody out and show them the arena. For partners and sponsors, we'll let them know how it's going to look. But it's really not that difficult at all. They've got a 40-foot Sealand container, and they put the field in there, all the turf, everything, all the boards, and the night or the day before they set up the field, they bring in a compact and level out all the arena dirt, and then they roll out the field on top of that, bring down the goalposts from the ceiling, so because there are kicks in this game.
Yeah.
Supposedly it takes them about 5 hours to get it set up.
Okay. Well, and you mentioned business partners that you need. What would be an ideal number of businesses to kind of work with you guys and sponsorships and that sort of thing?
Well, we have opportunities for partners, and they range anywhere from $150,000 for 2 seasons all the way down to $750 a game. So there is the right package for the right opportunity for the one that wants to partner with us. And guys, you got to remember, this is the inaugural. So those folks that come on board with us at the very beginning are the folks that we're going to be loyal to and bring on board with us as we continue down the road.
And I know this is just getting out the news, the press conference, but the people that you've talked to about bringing arena football to the Boerne area, what has been the response from people you've talked to about it?
It's been super exciting. People look at you and they go, what, to Boerne? And you're like, yes, and we're coming to Boerne. This is the right time and the right place to bring family fun entertainment to the Boerne area.
And do they know, like, the league rules, format, and all that? I know the Gunslingers, there's a rule that if you kick it in the opposite goalpost on the kickoff, that there's 2 points awarded to that team.
I think that we could address that maybe on the next time we get together, because I don't know the answer, but I'll find it out for you.
And that's a great rule, too. It adds a little bit to the excitement of everything. You know, the beautiful thing about this is it's like a 2-minute drive in, to the whole thing, because the games are so high scoring and they're so close. You're waiting until possibly the last possession to find out who's going to win this game. I mean, we have seen other instances where that's not the case, but for the most part, it's been, you got the ball in the last possession. You either score and win, or you don't score in the other team.
We've also seen teams dominate first half, and then the second half they come back because of how small the field is and just the configuration of it. It's so interesting and intriguing.
I'm super excited. I think once people understand what Arena League football is, I'm not sure how many folks out there know exactly what it is. So I'm really happy that we're doing this to educate folks. But yes, that's what I understand. They're high-scoring games. They're fast turnovers.
Yeah, keep the football, right? You can keep the football. Souvenirs.
Right, absolutely.
Souvenir. And, people saying out there, maybe they haven't seen an arena game, and you may say, oh, it's not the NFL. But, hey, Kurt Warner was an arena guy.
Yes.
He was the MVP of the Super Bowl, MVP of the league. So there's been a lot of NFL guys that have got their start in arena ball.
I think a lot of people don't really think about that. They say a pro team, you're not really a pro team. But no, we've got high quality caliber people coming to play this game and to coach. Right. So, and again, it's not just about the football. It's about building the brand and building the partnership with the community and providing an opportunity for these football players to get out there and take a second, third run at pro football if they want.
Well, John, give us that contact info, the website, and your contact info one more time.
Yeah, please. Absolutely. The website is www.txwildhogs.com. That's TexasWildHogs.com. And if anybody has any questions, they can reach me directly at 210-900-2470. That's 210-900-2470. And my email is jtipton, Tipton, @TexasTXWildHogs.com.
Thank you, gentlemen, and we'll thank you out there for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.